shows her distance. Love a dystopian setting, so that rated very highly for me. That's not how any of it happened. I think the gargoyle was probably my favorite character, honestly. There is an age difference. It was a 5-star because of everything that it entailed. I want to cry just thinking about it. Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michaela. Welcome to the new book room setup where we have my futon here and then our TBR shelves are easily accessible. Now, you've seen the title, I don't need to explain it, so let's just get right into all of the books that I read in July and then pick our August TBR. That's crazy to say. The August is already here. Koopy is also here. Anyways, I don't know how it's August already. That's actually crazy because that also means that summer is almost over and that makes me very sad. Anyways, I've been reading a lot of romances and summer books, so you will see that in a reading vlog soon. Make sure you subscribe to keep an eye out for that. Anyways, let's get into all of the books that I read in July. The first one that I finished was Ballad of Falling Dragons, and this is the second one to the Moonfall series. I was expecting to like it a little bit more than the first one because I knew that the dragons were going to be more incorporated into it, but I still took so long reading it. It took me forever. I read this from 6:24 to 7:02. My only motivation for reading it was doing that reading vlog. If you haven't seen that reading vlog, there's all my thoughts on that. Anyways, I did rate this a 3-star. Just I don't think the Moonfall series fully got me, I guess. I understand a lot of what's happening, but I think a lot of it was confusing and a lot of it was, I don't know how to fully explain it. I just don't think it was the books for me. I don't really know. I am worried that I just don't like her writing because I do have the whole To Bleed a Crystal Bloom series. I have the second and third one here just off camera, I think. And these covers are so pretty. It has the sprayed edges and everything. The second one is blue, the third one is orange. It's just going so slow right now. Not a lot is happening, but it is a Rapunzel retelling. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I did give the Moonfall series 3 stars. Now, I wanted a different type of romance kind of thing, so I picked a dystopian setting for this romance, and this one was Daggermouth, and this is the series The Heart, the first one in that series, and I rated this one a 4-star. I really enjoy dystopian. What can I say? I read this from 7:02 to 7:11. Freya is also here. Hello. She is my little baby. She loves to be up on my shoulder. Anyways, this setting of the world was very segregated, I guess. The two worlds are segregated, so it's like a circle. So the inner circle is like the higher elites, and then you get out a little bit and they're like the mids, I guess, and then you get to like the boundary people and they're like super poor, all the things. But the higher ups people, like the elites or whatever they call it, they all wear masks, so nobody knows what any of the elites look like, and if you show your face to another elite, that is illegal. And then it follows our female main character who is assigned to kill our elite, and he has a mask on. She gets in there, she goes to kill him, and then he shows her. Crazy work, I know, but they end up in a forced proximity, forced marriage type of deal. But I really love a dystopian setting, so that rated very highly for me. The next book that I read, The Sunday Garden by Ashley Poston or Poston. I'm not 100% sure how to say her name. I read this from 7:11 to 7:23. So the magical realism in this is that there is a secret garden and there is a blue door, and this blue door shows up all over the place of Lilymore where this setting takes place. This blue door never shows up in the same place ever. She finds out how and what time that the door is showing up, and inside the garden is one of our male characters. I say one because it's kind of like a triangle, not really. It is very much grumpy sunshine vibes. And I will say it did take a little bit to get through this, mainly just because it's hard to not have a plot. I thought this would be following fixing up that secret garden, because when she first enters it's not fixed up at all, and you find out that one of the past owners, who has since passed away, started that garden, didn't get around to finishing it. I thought they would be finishing that together, and then that would be how he escaped. That's not how any of it happened. It is mainly just about her trying to get him out of the garden because he is trapped. He's tried to go through the door, he's tried to climb over the wall, nothing is working. He hardly even remembers the times in between her being there, so it's all really dependent on her if he gets out. So I liked it, but I didn't absolutely love it. Like, I loved the 7-year slip. That one made me cry. I don't know if that one, just because it had an old lady. The old lady in this, it was so funny. I do love all of the characters in here. One of the not head gardeners, I think like the maintenance man or whatever, I forget his name. Wyckoffsky, I think. I love his banter. I love his humor, how he talks to our main character. He's just great. Anyways, I rated this a 3-star, and the cover is beautiful. So that's all I have to say on that. The next one that I finished was Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I don't have a date where I started this, but I finished it the 26th. I did mainly read this on my Kindle because this is a beautiful book. It came plastic wrapped. And I did figure out that this was the gargoyle, and I think the gargoyle was probably my favorite character, honestly. His humor and how he gets sayings wrong and how he talks to the group, especially the female character, and also how he calls everybody Bartholomew. Anyways, I really enjoyed the beginning. The middle was a little bit harder to get through, and then the ending was easier. So I think around the middle mark, between like 30 and 60%, I would say. A little rough. Me wanting to pick up a different book instead of this one, so I will say that. But I really did enjoy the ending, and I think without that ending this could have been just one book, which I think honestly it could have and maybe should have. So anyways, I did rate this a 3-star. The next one that I finished is actually a book that I am borrowing, and that is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. Let's see, I read this in 2 days, so 7/26 to 7/28. So their meet cute is her dog peeing on his shoes. And that's how that goes. A very awkward encounter, but it begins their friendship, it begins them hanging out, and she ends up actually putting hard pants that have hardware, a button, zipper, all of that, and she starts going on dates with him. And she is going through a divorce with her husband Pete, which we don't like Pete at all, because first of all, her mom died, and then on the year anniversary of that, he tells her, I want a divorce. Mind you, this is while she is crying in the kitchen because she's baking the cookies that her mom would make because she wanted to feel close to her mom on the anniversary that she had died. And he comes in telling her that he wants a divorce. He doesn't even go over to give her a hug because he sees her crying. He's just like, ugh, Allie, like scoffing at her because she's having emotions, and he just is like, I want a divorce. Crazy work there. But maybe he doesn't remember special dates. Maybe he doesn't remember big events. No, because exactly a year later he says, hey, we've been living separately for a year now, let's actually get divorced. So then yeah, that starts everything with Allie. She's a professional organizer, but her life is literally a mess all over her house, which, having 3 kids, I can imagine it is. But anyways, it's hard for her to go through anything of sentimental value. Objects and things in her house, it's very hard for her to organize. Other people, it's other people's problems, not her problem. No weight to carry there. She can organize it, get rid of stuff like that. It's very easy to her. Organizing for herself, she carries a lot on her shoulders. Ethan, his family is from the town that she lives. He's always seen as a teenager, basically, somebody that has not grown up yet, doesn't have responsibility, can't be relied on. Basically the whole thing about him is that he can't be relied on, and everybody says that about him, but literally he has a completely different life somewhere else because he doesn't live here. And you get a little snippet of that, and then there is an age difference, just a 2-year age difference, but she's older than him, and it's a he falls first for her, and it's honestly so cute. I loved it because he also had such a way with kids. Like, it was easy for him to talk to kids, so he fit right in. Anyways, loved this. And I think I rated this a 4-star. Yes, rated this a 4-star. Just because the conflict could have been just talk about it and figure it out instead of what happened. Anyways, that's this one. And then the last book that I finished, I actually finished last night. It was a 5-star because of everything that it entailed. I was annotating basically every single page, if not every other page. Oh my goodness, I want to cry just thinking about it. There is so much in here. First of all, their house burns down after they've made dinner, and he comes up to her and tells her that he wants a divorce, and then she accidentally forgets to turn the stove burner off, so that night they wake up to their house filled with smoke. It's on fire. They have to leave and go to her parents' house. So April has not had the struggles that Leo has had. She doesn't understand him fully, and also going through postpartum and postpartum depression and the loneliness and the monotony and the repetition, the isolation, all relatable to me. So her having to navigate that, and then he doesn't want to be a burden to her. He takes himself kind of out of the situation a little bit, and so there's that distance there. She thinks he wants an out, and then you find out what happens between them. Honestly, after finding out what happened, I had no sympathy, I guess, or even just very little sympathy for April. I get it, she went through all of that, but to do that just was not acceptable at all. I did have weird feelings about Leo and April's sister, but like, I think that's just me thinking that, like, trying to figure out like what actually happened behind the scenes to make it to where they want to be divorced. So I think I was just trying to pull from anything, trying to make something up basically to figure it out. But anyways, we also get April's mom and dad's side of the story. We follow April's mom, Deb. We get her POV being a young mom, married, and then we also get how she grew up in her childhood. I guess not childhood, but like her older teen years. So you really get a sense of the family dynamics and how much love there really is between everybody, because there is the Alzheimer's disease that Billy is going through, and the fact that he loves so much and loves his wife so much after the rough start that they had. I cried, but I cried more because I would be tearing up and Scott would see me, so I would be telling him about it, and I'm barely able to get through it talking to him about it. You know, I'm doing almost the same thing talking to you because it's very hard. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I think this book did exactly what it needed to do. I think the POV with Deb absolutely was needed to make this book hit exactly how it should. Oh my goodness. This book was so good, and I want to read her other one, The Bright Years, I think it is called, because if this was a 5-star, I can only imagine The Bright Years being good or just as good. Definitely go into this knowing all the things, all of the triggers, because if it's something that you can't handle, can't deal with, don't want to hear about, please no, not to read this, because I would not wish that pain on you more than you've already experienced. So anyways, a 5-star. This really packs an emotional damage. I even put in I do this for every physical copy that I read, so I put in the date that I started and finished it, what I rated it, and then for this one I wrote emotional damage. I think I read 7 books this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I also have The Love Haters. I finished it July 2nd. I read it from June 30th to July 2nd. I really haven't thought about it since, so I think it would be like a 3-star. So Katie is a YouTuber and she has this series on her channel where she interviews people and why they have become a hero, basically, like them telling her the story of what happened that made them a hero, I guess is the best way to explain it. I don't really know, but anyways, the company that she's working for, not the boss, but the boss under that, tells her to go interview this guy because he saved Jennifer Lawrence's dog and he's a Marine lifeguard, National Guard, or whatever that's called, and he's done all this stuff and he's named Puppy Love or something like that. I don't really know. It was kind of a weird nickname to have, but anyways, she has to go to him and interview him. He does not want to do the interview. He thinks that his brother is coming because, surprise, Cole and Hutch are brothers. Cole is that boss and Hutch is that National Guard. It just creates a little bit of awkwardness when Katie comes in and explains what she's there for and Hutch just blows up. You hear the whole phone conversation and everything, and you do hear there is this anniversary that they are supposed to meet back in the town for, but Cole does not want to be there. We don't know what that is yet. Oh, also, she can't swim, so she has to learn how, and you'll never guess who her teacher is. Hutch, the National Guard, and guess what? Even more, this old lady's friend group is where she's staying. Okay, so it is Cole and Hutch's aunt, and she has a series of cottages where she has different couples staying, or different ladies staying there, and they're all like a little old ladies group, and they go swimming, and Hutch comes and teaches them how to do different things, do little workouts. So Katie is now in this group, but she doesn't know that Hutch is the teacher, so he comes in and then his dog just fully tackles her. We don't really know why, and I don't think that ever got explained, so I'm not really sure 100% about that. But anyways, she has to take swim lessons, do the test where she has to be flipped upside down in a helicopter simulation, get out and everything, like undo her straps and everything and all of that, so that's why she has to do the swim lessons. Helicopter flights, conga lines, drinking contests, hurricanes, and stolen kisses, along with a chance to tell the truth, to face old fears, and to be truly brave at last. That was that one. I think I'll stick with 3 stars. It wasn't something that I absolutely loved, but didn't hate. And if you click that notification bell, you will know when that video comes out because I'm doing a summer reading vlog for that, along with a few other of these books that you might have seen. So anyways, now that we've talked about our July wrap up, let's go and pick out our August TBR. I do want to first mention I am reading a couple books on here. So I am reading To Bleed a Crystal Bloom for Reading Sprayed Edges video, and I'm also reading that on my Kindle. This is such a beautiful book. I don't want to ruin it, so I'm reading it on my Kindle. Also switched back to one of my OG cases to protect the screen because it's getting scratched up a bit. And then I'm reading The Love Hypothesis for that same video, so it's giving a little bit of genre mixing there. So I also wanted to read this because I really want to see the movie or the show or whatever it is coming out, and I'm really excited about that because it has Lily Reinhart and I'm just really excited. So anyways, also reading that for the sprayed edges, and then I'm reading Book of the Month books to get them down. I have 6 here, so I'm thinking this one will be on my radar, Most Eligible will be on my radar, and then One and Only will be on my radar. So this is kind of like my priority ones, I would say. So I have them right here. But anyways, I think I will also do Calabasas because it's a sprayed edge. A little bit of each one. So we have a fantasy, a romance, and then kind of like a historical fiction kind of one because it has professors and teaching and stuff like that. I don't really know. But anyways, that's 3. Actually, it's 4. So I think I'm gonna maybe pick 2 to add on to that because this is already a big stack and I need to kind of keep it a little small. So I also need to put this back. I am going to be reading it for a continuing books I'm in the middle of, not continuing books, continuing series I'm in the middle of, but that video is not currently being filmed, so I think I'm just gonna put it back here. let's pick out 2 prompts. I do need to put my new prompts in here. These are my old ones, but I haven't used all of them in a while. So anyways, let's pick out 2 with food or drink on the cover. I think the only one that I had was Among Friends. Actually, this one has food and drink on the cover, but this is not the next one in the series, so I could do the next one in the series on my Kindle, potentially. We'll see. Oh, one fell out. I don't know which one to do. No people on cover. I feel like every single book has no person, so we'll do this one. Been avoiding. Honestly, the ones on the bottom I've been avoiding. Guys, I need to finish this. I am a little over 50%. I need to do it. Continuing this one, hopefully. Okay, before our kids start running around and get loud, I will finish out this video. To wrap this up real quick, we have Among Friends by Hal Ebert, To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and then Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Those are all of the books, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for upcoming videos, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one.